What it do, gang? It's your boy Will, and we back with another one. And today we doing things a little different. So before you watch this video, I'm giving you a warning. Don't watch this at night. Don't watch this alone. Make sure you got the lights on. If you won't be bad and not listen, go ahead, be my guest. But today we talking about some paranormal stuff. So if you into this type of content, let me know, leave a comment, and if you enjoy this type of content, I'm gonna drop this more often. And besides, don't take me that serious. It's not like I got a ghost behind me. It's just a video.
When I was 16, 17 years old, my bedroom was the attic of my parents' house. One night, I proceed to have one of the most real feeling dreams I've ever had. In the dream, I'm sleeping in my bed. I wake up in the dream to an older woman standing in the corner of my bedroom. I do not know this woman, never seen this woman. She actually looked quite ghost-like, a little translucent. You could see through her a bit. Like she she looked like a ghost. She proceeds to ask me, I have a son. He needs someone to play with. Would you mind playing with him? Not sure why I chose to say yes, but I did. And I was like, yeah, I'll totally play with your son. That seems totally normal. Like, we're in a dream, so, like, fine, I'll play with your son. As soon as I say, yeah, I'll play with your son, he appears, like, if I'm laying in my bed, like, she's on this side, he appears on this side of the room, like, right where the stairs are, the top of the steps. And he starts to walk over to my bedroom, to my bed, comes to my bed, and he's like, let's play arm wrestling. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. Let's play arm wrestling. So I put my hand up like this. He puts his hand in my hand, and we are arm wrestling. At first, it's like a good give and go. We're like, oh, yeah. And then, like, he pins my hand completely down. I feel his hand, hold on. I feel his hand around my hand, ice cold. He pins my hand down and is staring at me. And I'm like, okay, like, let's play again. And he goes, I don't think you want to play this game with me. Just like that, like dead stare. I don't think you want to play this game with me.
Now, this woman who gave me her story time is from South Carolina. She said that right now, the land that they own, her and her family, they've been owning this land for over 100 years. And right now it's being renovated. So she really, because of the renovation, I guess it sparked something, and she really wanted to know the family history. So she started asking her parents questions, and they kept tiptoeing. They really didn't want to give her any information. So she decided to give up on them, and she went ahead and she went to her great aunt. Now, when she got to the great aunt, and she started asking questions. The great aunt, whenever you ask older people questions, older people as in like 80s, 90s, they always get excited because it's just taking them back to the happiest times of their lives. And so she said that once she asked the great aunt, like, okay, so what's the saddest thing that happened on this land? She said the great aunt just stopped and looked at her and she said, I remember this black man worked for my father. And he no longer wanted to work for my father. He had gotten him a new job. And she said that he told her father, I'm sorry, but I have a different job now. And her father was so upset, he talked about it for days. And she said days went by, and she remembers her father waking her up in the middle of the night and putting her in the truck. And she said she remembers his buddies. They were following behind him. And they pulled up somewhere and she had no idea where, and she started looking around, and she said that she was confused. So she said that it all like made sense once her father and his buddies went into this house and they brought out this man, and the man was the black man that worked for her father who had just quit. She said that they took that man from out of his home with his wife and his children, and they lynched him. And once they lynched him, she said that her father pretty much tried to act like it was no big deal. But she said after they lynched that man, she saw him every single day. Now, she really starts to remember when she was sleeping in her bed, and she said that he really pretty much was torturing her. every single night. He didn't allow her to get any sleep. And when she did try to sleep and she did fall asleep, he would shake the bed and he would knock things over. Now, she said one night when she couldn't sleep, she went and got her father and she said, I can't sleep because that man is in there and he keeps on, waking me up. And so the dad was like, it's all your imagination. You're tripping, pretty much. You're tripping. So to put her at ease, he decided to sleep in her room on the floor. And she says when he slept on the floor, her great aunt said that she woke up to him being yanked out of her room by his leg and being pulled down the hall. She said she ran to the door, she looked down the hall, and she could see that man that he had lynched. Now, when she got to the end of the hall, she checked on her father and, asking him if he's okay, and he couldn't stand up because his ankle was broken. So what's been happening recently with this young woman is because of the renovation, her and her family have been finding things. So she said that she found one of those little statue things, where they painted them black and had a little red thing tied around the head. I don't know if they call it Jemima things or what, but I know that they weren't good things to have. So basically she said she found that and her mom was just like, oh, they're worth a lot of money. You should go ahead and just take it home and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to sell it. Y'all. Homegirl took it home. Okay. And she said when she took it home, she said she had such a bad migraine. She just couldn't get rid of it. So she decided that she was going to just take a nap, took some Tylenol, took a nap. And she said when she woke up, she saw a black man. Now, mind you, she lives alone. And she don't got no black boyfriend, no black husband, none of that. I asked her all those questions. But she said that she saw this man. And she said that now she can't get rid of him. She said her family, they aren't religious. She didn't grow up in church. She doesn't know what to do. And, at a time like this, she just has no clue. But she really wanted some pointers. And baby, I am so sorry. I don't know what to do. You said you got rid of the object and he's still there. So you really need to, I'm speechless. You really need to find someone who can come and bless the home for you to get rid of him. Because if he can hurt your father's ankle like that, do you understand how vengeful this spirit is? Oh, Lord. So this woman ended up telling her family members about what happened. She went back to her great aunt and she told her great aunt, like, oh, I found these little, things with the renovation. And the great aunt started to describe what she found. And she said, oh, yeah, we had lots of those in the house, sitting on the shelves. So you done took this thing home, baby. And now he was connected to that. And even though you got rid of it, he said he found him a new home. That's pretty much what he said. Now, she also said that she said something to her other family members about it, but like she said, they're not religious. They don't believe in stuff like this. So, of course, they're not going to know what to do in in a situation like this. And to her surprise, she said that her great aunt told her, oh, yeah, I told my dad about it. I told your parents about it. I told them, a long time ago that I saw this man after he was lynched. And everybody pretty much just think the great aunt is kooky. They think she out of her mind, honey. They think that woman is far gone. Okay.
Second time, because when I recorded the first time, it was no audio recorded. But now I'm just going to speed it up. This is what happened when the ghost followed me home from New Orleans. When we were leaving New Orleans and we were all in the car, I felt that there was a man with me, and I told everybody in the car that there was a man with us, and we all did our own little separate prayers to try to get him to go ahead and stay where he was at, and he couldn't come with us, right? Of course, sometimes it doesn't always work depending on the people that you're around and all that. So I get back to Atlanta. About 3 or 4 days after that, things start moving around in my house, okay? One, I start realizing that there's somebody peeking around corners in here like this. And I would see shit like this. So after seeing that a lot, I started to acknowledge the spirit, like, who are you? What do you want? Get out, you know? And then it started touching stuff in here. So this was me and my girlfriend was going through this where we would be sitting somewhere alone and things start moving around in the house. There was a time where I was sitting over here on this couch, and all the way across the room over here, I saw my shoe slowly lean and fall off of something. There was a different time I was sitting right here on the couch, and you see that bag over there? That bag is hooked onto some clips. It unhooked itself and fell to the floor. Dead silent in here. I'm chilling, sitting on the couch by myself, and I just have to look up and be like, stop touching shit, right? So this was the ongoing thing for about a week and a half in my house. Was like things were moving around. They didn't have no business moving around. And I talked to my girlfriend about it. She had been seeing something walking around in the house. Things had been moving around, and she had felt something poke her. Now, this is when I knew that it was getting serious. I could feel him, and I could see things about him in my mind's eye. I could see what he looked like. I could see about how old he was. I could see what his energy was like. I could see what he was wearing. So I was starting to get a feel and an idea for him and like why he was around. Wasn't a bad guy at all, kind of like a guy that like died young in his early 20s, and I was just the only light that he could see in that area, so he followed me all the way home. But I was laying in the room, right? I went to go take a nap. My girlfriend told me like, go ahead and take a nap. So I went in the room to take a nap. She was out here in the kitchen where I'm currently at. I'm in the bedroom on the end of the bed taking a nap, right? Laid underneath of like this extra little blanket or whatever, just laying on the end of the bed. I felt her walk into the room, and you know where you can kind of hear the air change or whatever, like when somebody's coming close to you. I felt her and heard her walk into the room, and it felt like she walked into the room, looked at me, noticed I was asleep, and then touched my head and gave me a kiss and walked out. Now, when she walked in, when I heard her walk in the room, I woke up. My eyes was closed, but I woke up. I thought she was going to ask me something. So I woke up, and I felt the fingertips touch the back of my head, and I felt my head kind of get this weird little tingle on the inside, and I felt the really, really light. And I turned directly around, and the room was empty. So I sat up, and I said, oh, okay. Came out here and noticed she was in the kitchen. Told her what happened as soon as it happened, right? So after that, I honestly sat in here one day when he started moving shit around again and fucking with the lights. Like, he was making the lights flicker and stuff. So I told him that he had to leave. But the thing about me is I don't just like banish spirits to go and you know, haunt somebody else. I send you on your way. So I called in my angels and my spirit guides and my ancestors to come in and help this guy move on if he was willing to do so. And he was willing to do so. He just didn't know where to go or how to do it. So we helped him. He moved on. He's gone. My house is clean. That was the spirit I brought with me from New Orleans. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this experience. If you went to New Orleans and brought something back with you, if you're from New Orleans, if you've ever been haunted, if you're a medium, whatever, let me know in the